Houston went and signed another dude, Reggie Bullock. I thought he was destined to be on a contender. It's like he's available. The Bucks are gearing up. The Celtics are gearing up. The Cavs need a wing shooter.
Miami,
Selfishly, I wanted Orlando to sign him. He goes to Houston.
I'm upset. I saw it at first, and I'm like, at first I was like, Reggie still wasn't signed. Like, that was kind of surprising to me. Because,
he had just got waived a few days previous.
Okay.
He had just got bought out by the Spurs.
I was gonna say, okay, him being on the Spurs, I know because the same thing. Like they waived campaign, and he got signed by Milwaukee.
Correct.
So yeah, them doing those, okay, that makes more sense. But yeah, Reggie, like that 3-and-D type archetype, like what he brings, especially as a spacer, like why would a contender not go chase that? Especially talking about these contenders and the fact that one of the bigger issues was that depth. Like the Suns could throw him out there. A lot of teams could throw. The Bucks could throw him out there at this point. Shoot, even if the Celtics wanted to give him a chance, like I'm not upset about that. The Denver, he could fit in Denver, catch some passes from Jokic. Like all those top teams, like you could see a fit because it's hard for Reggie Bullock not to fit. Just sit in the corner, play defense, you're fine. But for him to go to Houston, I looked at this and I'm like, another wing? We're already complaining about how having Dylan Brooks on the team is going to limit the opportunity for an Amin Thompson, for a Cam Whitmore, for a lot of these wing guys who they just brought in that they need to develop. You take that, even for Jabari Smith, as good as he was towards the end of last year, like you're taking touches away. And so assuming he's going to get minutes on this team, because why else would they sign him? It's just taking away opportunities. Like these guys need the space to develop. They need to get these minutes. You already signed a couple of veterans in Van Vliet and especially at their position, Dylan Brooks, who are going to take so many shots, have the ball in their hands so much, and you're just taking that opportunity away. The Rockets have so many promising young prospects. How are they going to develop them? And I thought they were in a really good place to do that before they made these signings. And they just they're just throwing it away. I thought Ime was going to be fine as the development coach, especially to develop that culture, especially on the defensive side of the ball, just playing together. Did that really well, establishing that for Boston. How are you going to establish that with these players on the court if they're not getting the opportunity to play? Yeah. Why are we wasting our time on Dylan Brooks and Reggie Bullock and Fred Van Vliet as guys in our rotation? And if he's not in the rotation, why did he sign there? Like Reggie Bullock could go to a contender. Like it just doesn't make sense.
The other top prospect I was thinking of also plays for G League Ignite, Ron Holland. That's what I was thinking of. But didn't we talk about these guys last week? Like who are they starting? Didn't we talk about that? And we brought up the same discussions. Like they already brought in so many wings. We wanted to be Amen, but they just got too many. This does not help the cause. Look, Reggie Bullock, Carolina guy. I really pray that no other team offered him a contract, which I just find hard to believe because there are plenty of fucking teams in the association that could use Reggie Bullock. Not even upper echelon like Bucks, Celtics, Heat. Even like lesser teams like the Timberwolves could have used that type of shooting. Cleveland, like, bro. Devin mentioned Orlando. They could have used that. It doesn't make any sense for him unless he just didn't have any other offers, and it definitely does not make sense for the Rockets because now they just got even more of a log jam than they already had at the wing spot. How are you going to comfortably distribute those minutes across all of those names that they have? You're not going to be able to do it. Somebody's going to be unhappy, and it's probably going to be one of the young guys. It's probably going to be like a Cam Whitmore.
It's the viewer. It's the viewers who are unhappy. It's me.
And Rockets fans are going to try and brainwash themselves. Look, I saw the picture of Freddie, Jeff Green, Jock Landale, and Dylan Brooks yesterday, and I was absolutely disgusted, bro. I'm like, I'm so mad all these guys signed there. Like, it would have been fine in my eyes if it was just Freddie, Jeff Green. I would have been okay with that. But to bring these guys, and now you might as well Photoshop fucking Reggie Bullock in there too. Because it's like, why? Like, there's no reason, bro. I hope that they're good. I hope that they're a really good team. Because if that's the case, I'll just shut up. But I don't think they're going to be that good. So I'm going to continue to talk shit about the Rockets all year long.
It's just some nasty work, man. Like, evidently Bullock went there for money. You're right on the spot in chat because he's making 10.5 mil next year, and he probably wasn't getting a mid-level exception anywhere else. But why are Houston doing this? Like, my hope is that he goes back to playing shooting guard for them, I guess, and becomes their backup too, because they don't really have that right now that their guard spot is in disarray with KPJ being a dumbass off the court. But outside of that, like, you've already brought in Jeff Green. He's your vet. You don't need another wing to do this. You just don't. They have 6 guys now. I mean, we haven't even brought up Jayshawn Tate's name. He's still on the roster. He's going to want to play sometime. I mean, he's good enough to play rotational minutes somewhere in this league. It's not a great wing, but he's viable. And he's like the 6th or 7th dude. Like, I just don't get it, man. I just don't get it. Even if they are good, like, where are these guys getting minutes? I just don't get it.
We gotta talk about these dudes next week too, because it'll be the Western Conference predictions. They'll be pretty early on.
Bro.
Don't worry, they'll be pretty early on in that ranking.
I feel like other than like our rankings episodes, I feel like we talked about these dudes. I feel like we talked about these dudes every single week since they signed everybody. I'm just like, I'm kind of tired of it, man. And their fan base, maybe every fan base is delusional, but I feel like I see a lot of Rockets fans on my timeline, and they're probably the most delusional bunch of them all.
Dylan Brooks, he beat America, bro.
Like, first is, Jaylen Brown's a Rocket. He's a Rocket. Oh, we got Freddie. Oh, we got like
Harden's coming back.
Like,
bro, it's outrageous. I mean, like, it's the same argument that gets made, and you just made it in chat, CF Candy, and it makes sense. Is like, they are tired of losing, and they don't have their pick this year. They're tired of losing, and they don't have their pick. But, like, I don't really care if they don't have their pick this year. You kind of need to roll with that process if you're going with this type of rebuild, and with the fact that they made sure by the James Harden trade that it was going to be a slow rebuild because they didn't get any immediate assets. They got picks. And then they screwed up the part where they're supposed to get a good player alongside that because they didn't want Jared Allen, and they got nothing for Oladipo. So they screwed that part up. They made sure they were going to have a long rebuild. And then they were like, oh, we don't have a pick. Let's just stop the long rebuild part, and let's just pray that while we bring in 7 vets that are 9 young guys will also develop. I wish them the best of luck, but that's a hell of a change for Ime to go from I'm coaching a title contender in Boston to let me deal with 15 dudes who all want rotational minutes. I got some vets who got egos and Chuck Shots and Freddie and Dylan Brooks, and I got all these young guys who are desperate for minutes. And it's a hell of a situation to have to manage.
Uncle Jeff's going to have his hands full dealing with these guys, man. Like, that's probably why they had to go get another vet, because it's just like, it's too much. How is Jeff going to handle all these egos? But I hope for Ime's sake, like, he can handle this. Because like you said, that's a big change of going from a title contender to a team that's been bottom of the league the last 2-3 years. And you add a bunch of fuel to what could end up being a fire, bro. Like, this could be bad. And, like, I get the point. Like, they're probably tired of losing, but this doesn't help. And even if they overachieve this year and get like 43 wins and make the play-in, like, it's not gonna mitigate to long-term success, bro. Like, it's just not. So I'm kind of disgusted with this organization. And it goes back to how we kind of started the episode. We see Portland did an amazing job trading a star player. How the fuck do you not get more for James Harden? Because as good as Dame is, James Harden was way better at that time. Maybe not way better, but he was better at that time. It just you kind of shot yourself in the foot right there, and that's probably why they feel like they have to do all this unnecessary shit this offseason. They're just that front office has handled the last couple years very poorly for a team that I think has drafted well, but I don't know. I'm tired of talking about them though.
They got the steal of the draft this year. Cam Whitmore at 20, like that was crazy.
And he's probably going to play like 5 minutes a game.
Yeah, there's no opportunity. A guy that was 20.
How is he going to see the floor?
Yeah.
Honestly, Jayshawn Tate's probably higher on the depth chart than Cam Whitmore right now.
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
And that's a good point about Ime in chat. Like, just might want some vets. He really might just want some vets. And that really might have been part of the selling point of him going to Houston is we got cap space, and we're going to give you some guys to be competitive with. Might not be beneficial for 3 years down the road, but to get you here, we're going to get some guys in that can compete. Is that going to help in the long term? No, but it probably gets Ime in the door. And from the front office standpoint, it probably keeps your jobs for a few more years too. I'm not saying it's the right decision, but it definitely keeps your jobs for a few more years. So unfortunately, the right incentives are not always in place for the right decisions to be made if you don't have the right establishment. And Houston are definitely an organization that does not have the right incentives for the right things to fall in place the last few years. Hopefully that changes, but this summer was definitely not the way to go about it.
We'll see. I hope we're all wrong. Maybe it does work out, but if it looks this rocky on paper, I don't have any reason to really believe that it's gonna change my thoughts at all. So, we'll see. They'll be interesting to watch though, regardless if they're good or if they're awful. They're gonna be interesting.
Oh, I'm gonna be tuning in, no doubt about it.